After an asteroid struck my yoga studio, Vistaprint helped me pivot to hot yoga, which doubled my customer. Took me a while, but I'm fine. So I just wanna testify, make it crystal clear. See, I've been picked out. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the debut of the King Mel Show on March 20th, 2021. Come on in, invite your friends, invite your family. Again, welcome to the King Mel Show. Different people that have different lives. If you ain't with it, just raise your hand and let me know that you understand that we are all hopeless to be loved. Again, welcome to the King Mel Show. Different people that has different lives. Again, this is the King Mel Show. I remember the first time. And He Still Loves Me by Beyonce, Walter, from the movie The Fighting Temptations. Now, again, I want to welcome each and every one of you guys to the debut of the King Mel Show. Today is March the 21st, 2011. I know last week we were supposed to have the debut of the King Mel Show, but for some circumstances, we did not have it. But we are back this Saturday, and we are having the King Mel Show tonight. So, as y'all can probably can read from my Facebook post. The topic for tonight's show is Kirk Franklin versus his son Kerrion. Now, of course, everybody knows that Kirk Franklin's son Kerrion has posted a video with him and Kirk Franklin talking, and then eventually it turned into an argument. And then we will show that Kirk apologizing to his fans for what he said and how it basically got leaked. And also, I will also show him and his first wife, not Tammy, but his first wife, talking about the incident. Now, Kerrion is from a previous marriage is the son from a previous marriage with Kirk Franklin. Now, Kirk Franklin and Tammy did not have Kerrion together. It was a previous marriage that Kirk Franklin had, and that's how Kerrion came about. But I'm gonna try and show you all three clips, all three videos, and we will talk about it towards the middle and the end of the show. But I just want to put this disclaimer out there. The opinions of Kirk Franklin versus his son Kerrion is mine alone. I do not know the family. I don't know what happened before Kerrion leaked this video. I don't know what was going on within the family prior to this. All I know is that I can share my opinion and so forth. So that's just a disclaimer, is that after we watch the video together is what I had to say about the video and are just my opinions. And being a son myself, it's just my opinion, and nobody else's alone. It's just mine. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there before we will go ahead, before we get started with the video and showing the videos. So hold on, let me get the videos up and we will watch them and we would take it from there. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Hey. And we will go from there. And are you ready to finally change your financial future forever? Yeah. And by the way, this conversation with Kirk and Tammy, his wife now, is on the Tammy Hall show. And they talk about, and Kirk Franklin opens up following his son Kerrion's audio leaked. And we will go ahead Let me share my screen, and I will go ahead and try to see if we can go ahead and share it. See if I can go ahead and share this. Okay. Hold on, you guys. And we will watch this together. And we probably, and I know some of y'all probably already seen the video of Kerrion posted on his Instagram, I believe, but there are more to it, and we will get into that as well. Okay. Oh, it says it's okay. It says it's unavailable. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's do it this way. Okay, y'all just bear with me. Okay. Okay. Okay, my fault, y'all. Let me go back to it. Okay, so that was some. Okay, so probably you did not hear some of it, but I'm still going to show it to you guys so we can actually talk about it. And we will start from the beginning. That was some. Okay, so probably you did not hear some of it. Okay. And I'm still gonna show it. And let's just rewind it and go back to the beginning so we can listen to it together.
We have been, and I love taking you guys behind the scenes of this show so that you know what we do here. So we've been planning this show with some of the biggest names in gospel for well over a month. And just a couple of days before the taping of this show, my first guest started trending on social media for reasons many families sadly can relate to. A toxic relationship within the family. Kirk did not cancel his interview with us, and he actually agreed to come on and discuss what is happening. And joining us now is Kirk Franklin and his wife Tammy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So let me start with just trying to unpack and understand what's going on here, Kirk. And this is a developing story. So to be clear, we're talking about the things that have happened so far that have been made public. Your 32-year-old son, Kerrion, posted a video of an exchange between the two of you. It was clearly very heated. It was a phone call, and it contained profanity and anger. Let me play some of it.
And this is the video that Kerrion leaked.
Just hours after the release of that, Kirk posted his own video, and here's a portion of it. Recently, my son and I had an argument. And I said words that are not appropriate. And I'm sincerely sorry to all of you. I sincerely apologize. I want you to know as a father that during that conversation, I called the family therapist and got that therapist on the phone to try to help. He never played that part. Again, this show is about gospel music. It's not about Kirk Franklin, but this real news happened, and you both have agreed to talk to us. Kirk, let me start with, how did you learn the video had been posted?
Well, a lot of people in our family and community, they privately have known for over 20 years of the tension and challenges that we've been going through as a family private. I have 4 children. When I married my wife, I had a son, and my wife had a daughter that got adopted. And so my oldest son and my bonus daughter, who was really my daughter, we raised them together, and we have a great relationship with my oldest son's mother. Her name is Sean York. She's an incredible woman. And early on, Tammy, Sean, and myself, we started to realize that there needed to be some deeper help with things that was happening with our son. And so around when he was a teenager, we started him in therapy and counseling, and we've had him in and out of counseling and therapy for over 20 years. And as Kerrion became a grown man, when he became a grown man, his disrespect became more aggressive. And so, once again, family members and friends and close friends, as a matter of fact, that was my close friend that was on the phone. I tried to get him on the phone to try to help with the situation. His name is John Thomas. So that was him that was laughing in the middle of the conversation. It wasn't my wife, it wasn't John, it was my best friend who's like an uncle to Kerrion. He's been Kerrion since I was one. So, just family, we've been trying to rally for years to try to help him. And like I said, now that he's about to be 33, as a grown man, the relationship at times can become very agitated and very frustrated in trying to help. But I'm not going to stop trying to help. He's my son. He's my son. He's my firstborn. And I never want him to feel what I've felt not having a father. So even though it gets tense and tight, when he calls from time to time, I will answer his call, even though I expect it to sometimes kind of derail. It's important for me to, because what if that call is the call that things change? So I never know, and I never want to give up.
And I want to get Tammy in on this, but just quickly,
Yes.
as you talk about the respect you feel you or do you respect Kerrion?
Yes, I respect Kerrion. I'm not Kerrion's equal, though. I'm not as equal as him. And when you talk to me, especially about things that you say that you want from me, I can't hear you when you are extremely aggressive when we're communicating. And that's why a lot of times Kerrion and I have to talk sometimes for a year or two.
Okay, now we're going to get Tammy's opinion on the matter. So here we go. And let me see if I can find it. But if not, then we will just go ahead and go on with the show.
And joining us now is Kirk Franklin. I get Tammy in on this, but just quickly, as you talk about it.
And that's why a lot of times Kerrion.
Okay.
The family is feuding, and the whole family's hurting there. And clearly, Kirk is talking about aggression from Kerrion.
When we're communicating, and that's why a lot of them.
You know them there, and the whole family's hurting. Part of the conversation.
Okay, so here's Tammy's opinion on the whole matter.
And clearly, this is ongoing. This is not the fairy tale family ending. The family is feuding, and the whole family's hurting. When did you hear that? Well, I wasn't a part of the conversation as my husband has expressed how that was. I can tell you that it has been a very hard and difficult situation with our family for years. To the point where my husband has to have someone on the phone to help, because it's become that combustible, I would say. Even the counselor got on the phone that day. There were apologies exchanged. There was a desire to continue or start back, I would say, counseling. And so when there is challenges, and when they start off young, as early as junior high, and then now it's continuing as adults, you are now communicating and dealing not only with your child, but with your adult child, a grown man. And so the aggressiveness and the nature is different. And And, that's what I had experienced. I know you're asking me particularly about that particular call. I wasn't, a part of it. But you've experienced this for the many years. Oh, absolutely. I just want to make sure real quick that our audience knows and realizes we did reach out to Kerrion over the course of the last few days and received no response from him. But Kirk, I do want to, because I know you wanted to say something else to me. Are you still trying to reach him? I know you've been estranged at this call and all of the pain and the anger with it. Are you both still trying to reach out and figure out a way forward?
Yes, I think that this one is very painful because I having my son record our conversations was a big shock for me. I had no idea that he was. Well, he's threatened it, but because he's threatened so many other things, I was just confident that I'm going to keep fighting for him. And even in our conversation, just fight against sense, I just want to not give up on that one chance to maybe that one phone call, maybe the words of I'm ready to get help. I'm ready to go back to therapy and get the help that I know that I need. And so I just never wanted to give up on that opportunity, even though sometimes the conversation just goes left. So I ask y'all to keep praying for our family. I would love to see God's hand do a major intervention. Please pray for his mother. She's releasing her own statements, videos. She's a great woman, and that's her only child. She's really going through a lot with this. And so, and just pray for all of the kids and for the entire family.
I'd like to say too that anyone that is familiar with counseling, it's a process, and it's a journey, and it's hard, and it's stopping and starting, and it's building trust. And when you stop, it's like starting all over again. And I've seen some comments even on social media, of taking sides, so to speak. And there is no side to this. This is news for everyone. This is something we've been living with for years, for all of our marriage, for 25 years. And when this is no longer news for everyone, we're still a family. Even though we're a family of faith, it's hard. You address your fans and you apologize to your fans. Is there more to say about the weight, I guess, the responsibility when you are seen as someone as a role model? Is there more you need to say to the fans and to the people who listen to your music and who heard those words and were surprised or disappointed?
No, people have every right to be disappointed in me. Use that language. I'm disappointed in myself for using that language. And at the same time, I'm healed. I'm a father. And I'm a father that has a son. And I have a gift. I have a gift of a toxic, challenging, turbulent relationship with a grown man now. And I'm still trying to fight for it. That fight, it can become so difficult that my humanity, unfortunately, that day won. And I'm going to keep trying while still continue to admit that I am an imperfect man fighting for a perfect God.
Okay, so there you have it for the interview on Tammy Hall that Kirk and his wife Tammy had just a few days ago. So I just want to put this disclaimer out there that what I'm going to say from this moment on is my opinions and my opinion only, nobody else's. I don't know the family. I don't know what conspired before this incident and before all the cursing and name calling that happened between Kirk between Kirk and his son Kerrion, but from the outside looking in and looking at the videos and the interviews, what I'm about to say is my opinion and mine's alone and nobody else's. So let's go ahead and get started on the King Mel Show for tonight. So the first thing is that I also did some research about this incident. So not only did I look at the videos and the interviews of Kurt and his wife Tammy and the video that Kerrion posted, I also did some research, saw the newspaper clippings, the news clippings from the websites. So I did some deep down research about this incident, and also drew my own opinions as well. So that is part of the disclaimer that I want to put out there. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I say this, is that I also heard different opinions from other people as well on social media. Just like Tammy said, whether they were for Team Kirk or with Team Kerrion, and especially with the church people are very bad about doing this. The church folks, the church people always say that, oh, the Bible says, honor thy father and mother. And Kirk had every right to curse his son Kerrion out because of the disrespect that Kerrion showed Kirk on the phone. Because that is not, because the Bible says to honor your father and mother. So that's basically what church people were saying with that Kirk had every right to curse out his son Kerrion. But this is how I look at it. Both Kirk was wrong, but also Kerrion was wrong. So therefore they both were wrong. So nobody was right in this situation. So even though some people said, oh, Kirk had every right to curse Kerrion out, but the part that we don't know is what did Kirk do to prior to this conversation to make Kerrion act this certain way towards him. That is what we don't know. We all say that, oh, that Kirk had every right to curse Kerrion out because of the disrespect, and that Kerrion should have honored their mother and father. For that's what the Bible says. Church people are very good to quote the Bible, but the Bible also says, Father, tempt not your son or daughter, but it says, son, fathers, do not provoke your son to anger. That's what the Bible also says, if you want to quote the Bible. Yes, the Bible says, honor their father and mother, but the Bible also says, fathers, provoke not your sons to anger. And what did Kirk do? We don't know exactly what happened prior to this phone conversation to make Kerrion so to lash out at Kirk. But whatever he did, he was still wrong. Kerrion was still wrong. Kirk was still wrong for cursing at Kerrion. But on the same note, Kerrion was wrong for at least posting the video of the phone conversation when that was a family private matter, private family matter. So Kerrion should not have done that on his part. But on Kirk's part, he shouldn't have really cursed Kerrion out. But let's back up. I also took some quotes that Kirk said, and I also took some quotes that Kerrion said. So in the media, Kerrion said, no father should speak to their children like this. That's what Kerrion said in the media. So let me talk about that. So Kerrion said no father should speak to their children like this. Well, that's true in some sense, I think. But for a father to call his son the B word, a nigger, especially a black male, why on earth would you call your son the B word and a nigger in the first place? With your son being 32, and yes, he is a grown man. I'm 35 and I'm a grown man. But you're his father. Like, why would you even call your black male the B word? As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and say it. Why would you call your son a bitch? That is, there's no excuse for that. Some people said that Kirk had every right to curse his son out. That's fine. But that's some people's opinions. But calling your son a bitch, that is one place that, to me, I don't know about any other black males, but to me, that is very, very, very insulting, one. And two, just basically pure. I know both them was heated, but two, it's very disrespectful. But one is insulting because why would you call your 32-year-old a bitch? That's number one. You're supposed to be, as his father, you're supposed to be a role model to your 32-year-old son. Your 32-year-old son is supposed to look up to you as his son. I know he's not your equal, but he's supposed to look up to you as his father. And you're supposed to be his role model. For you as his father to call him a bitch and then a nigga on top of that to a black male, that's very insulting and very kind of disrespectful in a sense to him. And me being a black male myself, and I'm just maybe 3 years older than Kerrion, if I had another black male to call me a bitch and then call me a nigger on top of that, basically those are fighting words to me. And I can kind of see where Kerrion is going with this, as far as no father should speak to their children like this, because Kirk's supposed to be a role model to Kerrion. And Kerrion is supposed to be able to look up to Kirk as his father. Like, Kerrion cannot do this because of that. Again, I don't know what happened prior to this conversation. I don't know the thoughts that they was having prior to this conversation, or what Kerrion was dealing with at the time before this. But again, I'm just looking at the interviews, the media, and based on my own experiences as a son, a 32-year-old Black male son, this is basically my opinion. And also, as far as me being a godfather, I can sort of speak to that as well because I have a godson. And I know what I can and cannot say to him, because every word that I say, or every word that I say to him, he basically takes in like a sponge, and he remembers what he said. The same thing with Kerrion. Every word that Kirk say to his son, Kerrion takes in and remembers every single word that his father said to him. Like, that is basically automatic with, especially with a Black male. So again, I don't think for that time that Kurt said or what he said, I have to agree with Kerrion on that one, because no father should speak to their children in that kind of way, because Kerrion is Kurt's son, and whatever happened or whatever past that Kerrion have with Kurt, deep down, probably with me, just with my opinion, I think Kerrion just need that positive role model, but with Kirk, but he cannot get it with Kirk because of what Kirk said to him. One, calling him a bitch, and two, calling him a nigger. Like, no, that's basically insulting to Kerrion. So the next quote, and this is what Kurt said: I will break your, and he said this in the video that Kerrion posted. Kurt said, I will break your neck if you ever disrespect me. That's what Kurt said in the video that Kerrion posted. Well, let's talk about this one, about this. Again, some things Kurt, as Kerrion's father, Kurt should not say. Even if Kirk is playing, when he said the things that he said, he should not have said it, because as Kerrion being Kurt's son, every little word that Kurt says to Kerrion, Kerrion remembers, and Kerrion takes in what Kurt says. How I know this? Because I am a 35 Black male, and I am a son. So I know what Kerrion will deal with, coming from a son's point of view. Now, Kurt said, I will break your neck if you ever disrespect me. So again, I don't know if Kurt was playing with Kerrion when he said this, or jokingly said this, but the fact still remains that Kurt said this. And even in the interview that he did with Tamara Hall, he said there are some things that he said that he shouldn't have said. Well, that's true. But the matter of the fact is that you said it. And although the conversation was heated, you still said the things that you should not have said. So again, this right here, he should not have said. I will break your neck if you ever disrespect me. He should not have said that. Because again, every word that Kirk says to Kerrion, Kerrion remembers what his father said to him. And that will always be in the back of Kerrion's mind, like, oh, my father said this to me, so I don't want to be around him, point blank, because he said this or he said that to me. And it made me feel very uncomfortable being around him. So I can kind of feel where Kerrion is coming from that perspective. Now, if you don't know, Kerrion is Kirk's son from a previous relationship from a previous marriage before Kirk and Tammy. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Now, on the next subject, Kirk said in the interview, but he also said this in his apology to his fans. He also said, we have had a toxic relationship with him as a family. We've tried for many years through counseling, through therapy, to try to rectify this private family matter. Okay. So when he was talking about this, and again, I want to put this disclaimer out here that everything that we talk about on the King Mel Show is my opinion and mine's alone. Nobody else's. It's just what I think, my opinions coming from a Black male and being a son's perspective, and also being a godfather's perspective with a godson. So I know the things that somewhat happens and somewhat not happens. So, but with being a godfather to a godson who is like my son, but not biological, but I still treat him as my son, as my own son. So I know the things that I would say, and I know the things that I wouldn't say, because he remembers what his godfather or father told him, and he remembered those things. So I can speak on these different points of view coming from Kurt's point of view and Kerrion's point of view. So it just won't be one-sided. So let me get back to the quote that Kurt said on his apology video and also in the media. So he said, we have had a toxic relationship with him as a family. We've tried for many years through counseling, through therapy, to try to rectify the situation, try to rectify this private family matter. Okay. So when this was said, I was thinking to myself, so, and also in the video, it said that they went to counseling. Okay, that's great. They went to counseling and therapy to get the issue resolved. But now, this is where I think where the problem comes in. So both y'all, so first question, did both y'all go to counseling? And I believe Kirk and Kerrion did. So with that being said, it takes two to rectify the situation. Now, I don't know how they try to, I don't know the methods that they try to rectify the situation or the family matters, and it's really none of my business. But for you to say that you had a toxic relationship with him, I don't think that needs to be said, in my opinion. Now, wherever the toxic relationship is, whether somehow Kerrion is hurting or not having a good relationship with Kirk or what have you, because Kerrion is from a previous marriage with Kirk. So I don't know if Kerrion is having some kind of, I won't say issues, but feel some kind of way because Kirk wasn't there for him when he was younger or whatever. But I don't know for certain, but me as a son, a Black male son myself, I'm thinking that it could be because Kirk was hardly there for him growing up, or he wasn't, Kirk wasn't probably like being a father to him growing up, because we all know Kirk being on the road with the family and all sorts of things. But I don't know what the toxic relationship is between Kirk and Kerrion, but yeah, for many years they tried counseling and therapy. That's good, but it gotta keep going. But I know it takes two to rectify the situation. So I'm gonna leave it at that with that. Now, the next one for the media, it says, according to Franklin, he and Collins started sending Kerrion to therapy when he was a teenager, and his son being in and out of counseling for over 20 years. Now, problem. Okay, so according to Kirk, Kurt said he and Collins started sending Kerrion to therapy when he was a teenager, and his son been in and out of counseling for over 20 years. Okay, so this goes back up to about having a toxic relationship with him as a family. So Kurt said that he and Collins started sending their son to therapy when he was a teenager, and his son been in and out of counseling for over 20 years. Okay, so let's start with his son being in and out of counseling for over 20 years. Okay, so if his son, and this was when he was a teenager, so his son been in and out of counseling for over 20 years. Don't you think with me, don't you think that there is a reason why Kerrion's been in and out of counseling for over 20 years? Now, again, this is my opinion, being a Black male son, what I would think in this type of situation. So his son been in and out of counseling for over 20 years. Don't you think there is a reason why Kerrion been in and out of counseling for over 20 years? Started at a teenager, when Kerrion was a teenager. So I would probably say maybe 13 or maybe younger, maybe 13 to 18, because Kerrion's now 32, about to be 33 in May. So he started counseling probably in when Kerrion was 13 or maybe younger. But don't you think there is a reason why Kerrion has been in and out of counseling for over 20 years? I'm just thinking out loud. The reason why I think Kerrion been in and out of counseling for over 20 years, because one, he was scared. Two, because you were sending a 13 or even younger year old Black male to therapy when he do not know what's going on at that age. And you were sending Kerrion, your son, to therapy when he don't know what was going on. Now I don't know if Kirk went. I don't know if Kirk went with him, but because he did not say, I don't know that part. But don't you think at that age, Kerrion was scared, and two, he did not know what was going on at a teenager. So probably like 13 to 18 years old or even younger, that he did not know what was going on. So of course he will be in and out of counseling or even therapy for over 20 years. Now there might be some other reasons why Kerrion being in and out of counseling and therapy, maybe because he felt like he didn't need it. But that was probably one of the bad sides, the negative part about it, that he probably think that he didn't need it. But the other part is that he probably did not know what was going on or did not know what it was all about. So he was basically scared at 13 through 18 years old or even younger. So that's probably why he's been in and out of counseling. Because I know if I was a teenager at that age and my dad or mom sent me to counseling, I probably would be scared. Because one, I do not know what's going on. I don't know what they were going to do if I had to go at that age. So definitely, I would be in and out of counseling for that long period of time. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I will be in and out of counseling for that long period of time. So we don't know. So for Kirk to say he and Colin started sending Kerrion to therapy when he was a teenager, and his son being in and out of counseling for over 20 years, I don't think he probably meant that in a negative way. But for Kurt to say that, you do not know what's in a person's mind, or you don't know what a person is going through, definitely when something like this happens. Like, hey, my son been in and out of counseling. Yes, something is wrong with him. No, that's not always the case. There could be other reasons why he been, some real good reasons why Kerrion being in and out of counseling for this long period of time. And especially when Kerrion was a teenager, around 13 through 18 years old, or even younger, point blank. Now, dealing with the next quote or finding, Kurt said when he became a grown man, his disrespect became more aggressive, adding that sometimes he and Kerrion would go a year or more without talking. And he even said this in the interview. And I definitely want to address this. So when he became a grown man, his disrespect became more aggressive, adding that sometimes he and Kerrion would go a year or more without talking. Okay, so again, I don't know what's going on with between Kirk and Kerrion. I don't know what conspired this situation before the phone call. Kerrion did not show that. He just showed the actual phone call conversation. He did not show what happened before the phone call conversation. So I cannot speak on what happened before the phone call conversation. I can just speak on that and not what happened before. So when Kurt said, and he even said this in the interview, when he became a grown man, his disrespect became more aggressive, adding that sometimes he and Kerrion would go a year or more without talking. Okay, so again, you said that he's a grown man. Okay, so if Kirk and Kerrion go a year or more without talking, again, do you think that there's a reason why Kirk? Do you think there's a reason why y'all are not talking, especially for a year or longer? Although he became more aggressive, I can definitely speak on that because as a Black male and a son, I know, me personally, my opinion, I know I can be very, very aggressive, and especially when it comes to my temper. Now, I would tell anybody that I first meet, or actually when we start that friendship or some kind of close relationship, I would tell any and everybody, like, look, I have a temper and I can be very aggressive when I get mad. And just like in Kerrion's case, he did, according to this video that he leaked out. So I'm basically being transparent with you as well. Me personally, I can be very aggressive at times, especially when I feel that anybody will call me out my name. If it's not Jamel, or if it's not King Mel, or even if it's not Mel, I would feel some type of way when a person called me out of my name. And that's when it's time for me to, I won't say bark back, but I just feel some type of way. So with this point, I can kind of see where Kerrion is coming from on this, because as a grown man, and when he becomes a grown man, he wants to be treated not also as such, but I just feel that he wants to be heard in a certain way. And he just wants to be understood. And when he don't, basically, when he feel like he don't, especially when he don't feel like he is getting understood, then he becomes aggressive. And I'm basically the same way. So I can kind of see where Kerrion is coming from, as far as when he become a grown man, his disrespect became more aggressive. Now I don't be disrespectful, me personally, but I will be aggressive. There's a difference. I won't be disrespectful, but I will be aggressive. And for sometimes he and Kerrion would go a year with or more without talking, then hey, if that's what it takes for them to not to talk, then that's what it takes. Because once a grown man, now I know me personally, when I get angry and become aggressive, I don't want to talk to anybody. Me personally, I do not want to talk to anybody. It might take a few hours, it might take a few days, or it might even take a year, like in this case. It just depends on what the situation is for me to get to that point. But me personally, I know when I get angry or aggressive, I do not want to talk to anybody. I just want to be left alone, because I know if I get pushed far enough, then I will probably say some things that I shouldn't say. Now, notice that I did not say I might say some things that I will regret. Because trust me, if I say some things, I meant what I said. And especially in the state of being aggressive and angry, if I say some things, I would not regret it, because I would have said it and I meant it. So I would not have regretted. But in this case, probably at this point, again, before this phone conversation, there was probably some kind of tension between Kirk and Kerrion before this phone conversation. So that's probably why Kirk and Kerrion have been go without a year or more without talking, because maybe some past issues that came up inside of Kerrion. And me personally, I know I would probably do the same thing. No doubts about it. Hands down, I would do the same thing. So the next thing. So Kerrion said he was the only one that ever called and tried to go to counseling, accusing his father of playing mind games. Okay. So let me read that again. Kerrion said he was the only one that ever called. Okay. So now this one I have mixed emotions about, because Kerrion said he was the only one that ever called, I guess, called Kirk and tried to go to counseling, and then accusing his father of playing mind games. Now, I don't know if this statement is true or not. That's between Kirk and Kerrion. Kerrion said that his father never went to counseling with him, and Kirk said he did go to counseling with Kerrion. I don't know. Only they know what really happened between that. So leave it alone. Now, moving on. So the next thing, Kirk on the interview said Kerrion was threatening on the interview, as y'all saw at the beginning of the King Mel Show. So I was wondering, like, to myself, Kirk, how is Kerrion threatening when you're the one that told him that you would first break his neck if he ever disrespect you again, and then you call him a bitch ass nigger? Like, explain that to me. How do you think Kerrion was threatening? Although, yes, he was aggressive, but although Kerrion was aggressive, and you told Kerrion, your son, remind you that you would break his neck if he ever disrespect you again, or maybe without the again part, but that you would break his neck if he ever disrespect you. And you supposed to be the father, and you talking to your son like that. Like, I'm a black male son, and I'm a son. Like, why would you tell your son that you would do that? No matter if you was jokingly saying it or just saying it in the wind. You should not say that. And it's just my opinion. Some people probably say that, hey, Kirk should have said that. But me personally, I don't think Kirk should have said that to Kerrion, because one, if Kerrion has any respect or even for the little respect that he does have for Kirk, he just lost it with that. And on top of that, calling his son a bitch ass nigga. Now, what Kirk also said was he would break his foot in Kerrion's ass. He did say that. And I kind of agree with that because our fathers say that. But some things the fathers should not say. And one is calling your son, your black male son, the B word, and then calling him a nigger. That shouldn't have been said, period, point blank. So I'm going to leave it with that. And then the last point is something it haven't really stand out to me, but it's kind of true in a sense. But this goes back to counseling, about getting counseling for Kerrion and also for Kirk together. So Tammy said in the interview that counseling is a process, which it is. Counseling is a process. And the process is building trust with one another. But again, although counseling is a process, it takes two. One has to listen to the other, and the other one has to listen to the other one. So it takes two, and they both have to listen to each other and tell the other one their differences without arguing, and also basically building trust. So it's almost 10:30, and this show been going on for almost an hour and a half. So I will go ahead and get ready to end it. But I basically just want to say this, that again, I just want to put this disclaimer out there that everything that was said on the King Mel Show tonight is my opinion, and my opinion only. If there was something that you did not agree with or did not like, then oh well. That everything that was said tonight is my opinion, and everybody has their right to their opinion on this situation. That's fine, and I respect everybody for it. But this was my opinion on this situation. And with me being a godson, with me being a godfather to an 18-year-old godson who is like my son, and I won't go into details about that situation, but I know how to talk to him, and I know how not to talk to him as being his godfather, because I know what I say towards him, he will remember it for years to come. Oh, my godfather said this to me. My godfather said that to me. Oh, I didn't like how he said that or said this to me. And that will probably end up being, like Kirk said, a toxic relationship with him, because he don't basically trust you anymore because of what you said to him years before. And he basically feel that he don't want anything else to do with you. So that's basically why I think Kerrion will go, him and Kirk and Kerrion will go a year or more without talking, because I feel that Kerrion is fed up with Kirk for whatever reason, and he basically just don't want to deal with Kirk anymore. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the King Mel Show for tonight. And before we go, we're always going to end the King Mel Show with this. Introduce yourself to people, because you never know. Reintroduce yourself to people, because what they thought of you is not you. Be focused, be you, and be great. Again, reintroduce yourself to people, because what they thought of you is not you. Stay focused, be you, and be great. Good night.